Welcome to Entirebody's blog. We have today in our studio Hattie from the UK. Hattie, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do, where you're from, and why you're here today.
Hi there, I'm Hattie and I'm an ex-athlete. So my journey of fitness and sport started playing professionally. I played professional for Chelsea Football Club. It's quite a well-renowned team. So if you don't know about it, it's a professional team in England. I got the chance to play there up until I was 18, and I got the option to play in America for a D1 NCAA school, full scholarship. So that was kind of my dream. So I said yes. I went over to the States, graduated, got my degree in sports exercise science along with sports management. After that, I unfortunately had a few ACL injuries. That's just normal, overuse injuries out there. So I kind of transitioned my sports journey into helping others. It went from athletes to helping clients lose weight. So that was kind of my transition. I moved to Los Angeles. Los Angeles is the fitness capital, as everyone knows. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Gold's Gym, Venice Beach.
I think everyone has a fitness coach there, don't they?
Yeah, I think everyone actually does, yeah. Even if they don't need one. It's just normal. It's like an accessory. But yeah, so I moved to Venice and ended up opening my own studio with my best friend on the beach, on the boardwalk in Venice, and we was doing open air training on the beach, training athletes pre and post op, and then also obviously helping everyone who wants to just work out, lose weight and just feel good overall. And that was kind of my journey, and I was in the States for 6 years, and I've transitioned again, moved back to the UK, back to home soil. I've just been missing the English food. It's the best, even though no one thinks it is.
All right, good. I lived in the UK for a year. I don't know if I could say the same, but and it wasn't the weather either. But anyway,
yeah,
go ahead.
Just the banter, the jokes, and also just family. Obviously, so back, yeah. And then I'm a co-owner of a studio in Birmingham right now, and it's ladies only private studio. And yeah, like it's amazing. It's great, one-to-one, no distractions, and I can just help as many people as I want to, and it's great. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Wow, that's a lot of steps. I was going to say, how old are you? You should with all those things, it sounds like you've been living in, a long life.
Yeah, I'm super lucky, but it's been great. Yeah. So,
well, kind of similar to mine. I just stayed. I went to the US on a running, or not on a running scholarship, but I ended up getting one. But okay, so you're an Entirebody coach, and you're saying you have your own studio, and now I guess your studio's open again. We talked a little bit before we started here about what you've seen when people come back now. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like the mindset or how the mental health issues how has affected people, the lockdown is what I guess I'm asking.
Yeah. So over here in the UK, we've had like 3 tiers of lockdown, and the fitness industry's been impacted dramatically. So obviously the doors are closed. So we've been doing a lot of Zoom sessions online with clientele. But with clientele and just friends, I've just noticed they've been through like a roller coaster of emotions, just, being consistent mentally, and you forget how normal day-to-day things that you do when the world is open, it helps you, it helps your mental be balanced. And I've noticed that a lot of my clients took a plateau down in their consistency of working out, eating, and just motivation levels. Like I've been there as a support. Like I want to be there as a support, not just physically but mentally as well for my clients, and they've done really well. But I've noticed as soon as the doors have opened, so this is our nearly 3rd week of the gym's opening now, and I've noticed their energy, it's great, and they've got a smile on their face. They have always, but you can tell body language. Their body language is positive, it's open, and they've said that as soon as they've stepped foot back in the gym or got into a structured plan with me, they've just felt kind of that's their backbone. They've got a structure for myself, and they've felt naturally just more confident. And obviously exercise releases endorphins and brings off obviously better energy, reduces anxiety levels, and they've said naturally they're less anxious, they're not as stressed because the exercise is there. And it's not just about seeing results, it's about, you know, getting moving. So they're just happy to get back moving in an environment that's safe and that they're comfortable and confident to be in. So that's kind of the impact what lockdowns had. Myself, personally, I've been like, it's been hard, you know, to be consistent. You know, it's not like we have issues as well, personal trainers, it's hard to stay consistent in your own fitness plan. And it's everyone's learned a lot, like mentally, about how to balance themselves and to do, you know, to keep themselves busy mentally as well, to do new things. And I've learned so much about myself over lockdown, so I take it as a positive.
I see. I think but I think we're those who have taken the opportunity of such a time to kind of, you know, indulge themselves in self-learning or a more fine-tuned training, or maybe, you know, to do something else. They're unfortunate. They're in the minority of people. Most people, like you said, have just felt helpless and gained weight and like, well, how am I going to use my living room? You know, so I need the weights, and I need to, you know, to be in that place where the music plays a little bit in the background.
No, of course. Like, I feel like with Entirebody, I love the concept. I love that it's overall wellness. It's not just fitness, it's well-being, it's mental as well. It you know, it allows to, it tracks your sleep, it tracks your mood, you can log your mood in, and we can track their overall wellness day to day. And obviously we can provide them with a diet and fitness plan, but we know how their day's looking. So if their calories are low, we know, and we can see their mood's been stressed, we know the reason why. And obviously that's our job to make sure that they're consistent with that. So
how if you have a, let's say I was your client and I agreed on like in a certain amount, you said, hey, my goal is this, and you said, well, then you got to do these things, and then you got to eat about this, and then after a week you go in and you see I'm just, you know, I'm skipping, or you're saying on eating, I'm just like chucking on like burgers and beer. How do you approach someone like that who's not taking the job seriously? Because there's got some people just maybe don't have the discipline, you know.
No, of course, like it's happened a lot with all the clients I've trained in the past. It's sometimes it's easier than others to kind of be consistent. I just tell them what's your obstacle, you know, what's stopping you from following the plan from me. Most of the time it's their kind of, they can't, it's like having that food in the house, for example. If that food's in the house, they need to take it away, or I need to give them a stricter plan. Some people follow more abrupt and a more direct, obviously, approach. So you've got to change your approach with how clients, you know, personality is as well. So I've noticed that. Or some people don't like as a strict diet plan. They like to be kind of like have a plan that's there, and they feel comfortable and they feel confident. They don't feel like
I'm like that. I want I don't need the six pack. I just want to be able to drink my six pack, you know. But I don't want to get diabetes too, and I don't want to die young. So what do I got to do to you know, be a little bit unhealthy? For that I'll sacrifice some things, you know. So I think people need to understand that it's not like there's these drastic things you need to do. There's small changes, but you kind of have to do them all the time. Like you have to drink proper amount of water. You have to exercise at least 2-3 times a week. I think, and if you do that, you won't get diabetes too, and you will probably live fine, and you can probably have a pint or two, you know, in the weekends.
Of course, and like I
not every day though, right?
No, not every day. Obviously, you know, if you have an event once every blue moon. But I always say, like, you know, your food is your fuel for recovery, and it's for rebuilding. You know, rebuilding and recovering those muscles. So if you're working out with me, you want to consume good foods. You know, if you're putting bad foods in your body, you're going to feel fatigued. You know, you're not going to be ready for our next workout. So I always say, like, your body's a machine. So, you know, you need to oil it up. You know, that's it. Especially not just with food and exercise, just with sleep as well, and mental as well. So
it's it's a complex thing, but then again, you don't have to tackle it all at once. You can start with something, right? And because I get overwhelmed. It's like if I open up a menu at a restaurant and there's like 100 things in there, I don't even know what to pick to eat. I'm like,
Yeah.
can someone help me pick, please? I say, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I think most people find it that way with maybe some are, you know, the market out there, that it's a little bit complex and it should be simple.
Yeah, basic, straightforward. I feel like being basic and, you know, baby steps in terms of showing people who don't have no idea about nutrition and fitness. I think showing a basic layout is the best way, because they're going to obviously assume that better instead of having a overwhelming amount of information. So that's why, again, the app is perfectly laid out. It's basic, and the structure and, you know, inputting their information on their profile for us to check. It's super basic, and it's just a good layout for them to see their progression.
I'm just curious, you know, in Norway, where I'm based and we're from, and we have we have you in the UK, and we have people in Estonia and stuff like that. It's always interesting to learn the different, you know, in Norway, we always live where skiing is a thing, you know, it's like, you have to do it. It's a wonderful sport, and it gets you outside. What's the favorite leisure sports thing that, you know, people in England like to do? I'm assuming we don't have to cover it all the UK.
Yeah, you know, it's football. I think it's football, or I think tennis as well.
Yeah,
yeah, football. Tennis.
How about running? Is running exploded like it's done in Norway?
Running and cycling is really popular. Yeah, really popular. Out here, any little bit of sun, everyone's out. You know, tanning, or they're out, you know, having drinks, or they're out exercising. Even if it's cold, any bit of sun, because that obviously provides you vitamin D, but just obviously more motivation to just get outside as well.
Right. What did you or have you always been into sports? I mean, you said like the professional thing, but what got you into sport as a child? Was it just like everyone did it in your class, or was it siblings or your family, or what?
Yeah, so I was like the only girl in my family to start with, and youngest. So
then you have to live up to hard stuff, or you get very tough.
Yeah, so a bunch of boys, and obviously we used to play out in the street, and I used to skateboard, and I used to love art as well, and photography.
Cool.
Because I always at like a standpoint of going into marine biology and then fitness, because I love I just love like mammals and the ocean and coral.
Am I catching you right? Did you do different sports? You said you liked surfing maybe in California, or, you know, skateboarding. Is that the skateboarding background?
Yeah, I love it. So it's kind of like I did play, and then I realized I was pretty good at it because I was always playing against older boys. So obviously development progress. So then I got scouted at a young age, and then it was never pressure for my family. It's just more my happiness. And I'm such like a dedicated person anyway with anything I do. So I just practice and practice. And then when I moved to Hong Kong when I was 16, I practiced again and played at a country club, and then I actually got picked up by the national team, and at that point I was eligible to play, so I actually played for Hong Kong 17.
Nice.
And
that's crazy.
I scored a hat trick on my debut against Singapore in the Asia Cup, and it was and I was the only, like, everyone else was obviously like talking Mandarin and I'm not the only like half like obviously white, and then like Hong Kong national, and it was great. It was such a great experience, and I think sport is just, especially being able to travel the world, I'm so lucky, and also fitness, seeing different cultures and how they perceive as what fitness is in sport. It's so different, and their motivations as well. Each country is so different. That's kind of how I got into it. But I love photography still. I still do. I have a portfolio, secret portfolio hidden away of photos that I love to do. So
All right. Well, it's allowed to bring that up. I think, you know, since I do social media things too, sharing is caring. So no, I'm just kidding. Would the gyms open again now? People been home, you know, maybe working out in the garage, or, you know, some rubber bands, and now they're back in the gym. They're like, all right, I'm gonna lift, and then they're like, do you think people are gonna get injured? Are people super eager to get back in? Do we have to kind of, hey, take it easy, guys and girls?
Yeah, obviously. So in a relation to like a PT standpoint, with all the consultations I've got like booked in right now, it's everyone's like, right, I want to lose weight, or I want to, you know, muscle. And I'm like, I understand that, but have you worked out before? They're like, no. So I'm like, well, we need to build a foundation first.
Oh,
so
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I've noticed a lot of people, especially in like a gym. I always jump gym to gym working out because I like to change of environment, you know, to keep myself. I've noticed there's people lifting so heavy, bad technique, obviously just because they're with their friends who are more like experienced. But yeah, that's a big factor I've noticed, especially with clients who've tried to work out over lockdown at home. They're like, I've tried to work out, but I don't know obviously how to do the correct form or technique. So that's obviously where we come in and help just kind of do the baby steps and build that foundation. Yeah,
and you know, and it's good to have someone watching you. I mean, you can watch videos on how to do it, but you still have to do it, and then someone, you know, can every once in a while at least check on you and see how you're doing it, and if you're doing it right. Do you and when you coach people, how important do you think nutrition is? I mean, do you that's a stupid question. What do you advise on nutrition? How do you tell people to behave when they go to the store or when they make dinner, you know?
Yeah, so I always give them, I actually give all my clients, when they do, like when they receive a diet plan from me, I always give them a grocery list of, just nice and easy. So they can pull up a grocery list of foods that obviously is good for you, good for recovery, good for rebuilding, but it's not restricted either. So it's a huge list going from protein to carbs, good carbs, bad carbs, proteins to along with veggies and fruits and stuff like that. And it's just a basic layout. And they're like, oh, I can have this. And then I also give them a diet plan as well that relates to it. So they can pick and choose the food from the grocery list into their meal plan. But obviously they need to let me know. I need to obviously calculate the amount of grams and carbs they need.
Yeah, there's a debate in Norway with this TV celebrity who's he was 130 kilos. And he's a big guy. He's always been big, but so he's going to lose a lot of weight, and he turned into some calculator to see how much, and then he's like, well, I guess I got to eat 1,300 calories a day, which is nothing, you know. Because when you start, and then so to advise people who are used to maybe eating a lot to take such a huge jump, you know, I think, and maybe I don't know what you think, but is that a good advice, or do we need to? How quickly do we take the strides?
No, that's not good at all. I mean, obviously, and be 1,300 to 1,500 anyway. But if he wants to obviously gradually lose weight, he needs to calculate his weight and obviously his BMI, but also we need to calculate the amount of we need to do like macro tracking basically, and calculate obviously the amount to consume, and he can go at a deficit to start off with. So take away, for example, 500 calories, but that would be incorporated with his exercise as well. If he's just stagnant and just wanting to lose weight with diet, he needs to just slowly, gradually drop that calorie intake down. But yeah, I don't think he can survive.
No, I think in the series he concluded after a couple of days that it was not possible. Maybe possible, but extremely, extremely uncomfortable. And no one, that's not a good way to change, I think.
Yeah. No, extreme diets are so for example, keto diet. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a great short-term diet, but long-term effects, it's not great. It makes you super tired, going into that state of ketosis. Obviously it's great at that time. It's super hard to maintain, hard. And it's that's not long-term. So
no, and I think Entirebody, I mean, we will. And I believe in that same thing too. I believe in the small steps. I'm very patient. I can be impatient each day. I would like to patiently. I kind of want to. After this, I'm going to patiently just take off and run probably, because it's been nice all day. So I mean, it's been itching a little bit. But if I have been running yesterday, I had to be patient because I can't do that. I gotta. So otherwise, my knees will go. And I want them to last. I definitely want them to last for snowboarding and for running. So your background is in soccer. Do you have like soccer, do you coach people on that, like players?
Yeah, so I was a head coach of a club team in downtown LA. So they were from a very poor area in downtown Los Angeles. Great, so talented.
I was going to say probably very hungry then, because I ran track in Arkansas. They were very hungry in Arkansas too.
Most of my girls are Hispanic and amazing.
Tough girls, probably, huh?
Yeah, tough girls, been through a lot in their life, and my goal was to kind of get them scholarships and follow my footsteps, and because I had that experience. So we did great. I did a lot of obviously sports performance coaching along with tactical and strength and conditioning. The first year we moved from like bronze level to silver, and then we won the league again, went to gold, and I was like the youngest coach in that league to ever do that. And then I got 5 girls scholarships as well, all over the SoCal University. So yeah, that was amazing for me. I love football still. I love coaching. I do miss playing. Obviously injuries I can't, but I love it. I love helping people.
I was going to ask you, when you injured yourself, was that in playing you injured yourself?
So it was more, we was in the NCAA championship. Actually, it was quarterfinal, and it was a really tough game. I actually tweaked my knee in training, and then the athletic trainer gave me a cortisone shot, which isn't good, you know.
No, that's a last resort. You should not do that too often.
Yeah, it's not. But she was getting pressure from my coach because he wanted me to play. And overuse injury, then it kept him dislocating, and like the past few years I haven't had surgery on my knee the second time, but I was playing a lot of beach soccer, and that helped a lot because it's unbalanced surfaces. So it helps obviously build the muscle. I do miss that, but I'm super tempted in getting my knee checked out, and I've been offered to play back over here professional again. So I'm debating right now, because obviously I'm 28 right now, so it's kind of like I'm kind of debating, you know. I love helping future athletes, so I'd rather help them and myself be, you know.
I think I don't know what I should not. As a little bit older than you, I think you still have a lot in front of you, and I don't know if you like the idea of helping people, especially. I think you're touching on something. I think coaching should be something should be taken further down the food chain. I was going to say further down in the age group. I think I thank goodness I had sports when I was a kid. If I didn't have sports, I'm most likely I'd have been maybe a criminal. I don't know. But sports kind of saved me. It was miserable at home sometimes. It really saved me. It kept me focused. And it gave me the only confidence I have. I wasn't very good in school, but I was good in sports. So I survived on that.
No, totally.
A lot of kids, like you said, from those neighborhoods could really need a boost of self-esteem in some form.
Yeah, and I think also like teaching, obviously getting my degree in sports exercise science, just knowing the anatomy of the body and also inputting that with sports performance, it's just great to see how you can obviously build the muscles and then obviously see improvement in performance and athletes' performance specifically. So
enjoy.
Right. So coaching is always there. Like I'm always open to doing coaching. So I've been asked quite a lot in my area to do it. And I always run up the community as well. So that's a big thing for me as well. Just give everyone knowledge, what I've been through. I'm super lucky. So I want to share it and not keep it away. So yeah.
Hey, sharing knowledge, that's what we're trying to do right here. Yep. So that's perfect. Exactly. So okay, on to like sharing some knowledge. I mean, do you have any inside? Well, I mean, if you were gonna share your best tips on, I don't know, something, whatever. What is that? How do you get motivated? What is that drives you? Is it something you say to yourself, or is it too personal? Or I mean, I need I can get a little tip or two to our viewers and listeners.
I'm really into podcasts, so I always listen to a good motivational podcast. I love Gary Vaynerchuk.
While you work out, or are you saying as a prime yourself?
I do that when I do cardio, you know. It gets my mind going. I have loads of ideas. Also, just myself. I don't even think about how I'm going to look. I don't think about I'm doing this to look a certain way. I do it because it relieves stress. For me, it's a mental kind of stress reliever. If I have to work out to kind of keep my arousal and anxiety levels balanced. I get super tetchy, like I'm always on the go as well. I can't just sit around on the couch all day. So yeah, I either just put myself up to music, blast some music out, or I read. Actually, it's really opposite. I read quite a lot before I go to the gym, just to kind of switch my brain off, and then I'm in autopilot then to go to the gym, and then I'm focused on that. And a session plan as well. I always write down my session before, like what I'm going to do, so I've got a structure as well.
Yeah, that's smart. It's like planning your work day the night before, so you don't have to wake up and then like, what am I going to do right now? And then you already have that plan, and you might sleep better, they say, because you don't have to lay in there and ponder what you're going to do in the morning.
No, of course. I always go for a walk as well with my partner. We always go for like an 8K walk. We live in a beautiful, so lots of farms and hills and stuff. So we always go for a walk before, and then I'll just take.
So do you advise that to your clients? I mean, you can advise them on some training and some dietary things, and then, but do you like give more softer advices, such as like, and then, hey, why don't you just like include a weekly walk and invite a new friend every time, COVID.
Yeah, no,
I
totally do. Like a lot of my clients, they have a lot of self-esteem issues and some depression stuff, and they find it hard to motivate themselves when they wake up in the morning, as you can imagine. And I always tell them, I say to them, don't think this is a chore. Like this is to help improve your wellness. This is to give yourself more energy. This is to give yourself more mental stability, just so you can be more successful in your day-to-day lifestyle at work. I feel like exercising helps relieve stress, meaning you're not stressed at work that day. And yeah, I always tell them, do something completely opposite. It takes your mind off preparing for the gym. I know it sounds really weird, but because if you're thinking about the gym constantly, when you think about something so much, your mind kind of gets put off, or you're not as obviously committed, So I say to them, do something completely different, even if it's just watching TV. Actually, I don't say watching TV. Even if it's something active, walking the dog before, completely, or preparing your meals for after the workout. Do that. That's great. So yeah, I always say that to them, just to keep themselves, mentally balanced, pretty much.
Yeah. One of your fellow Entirebody coaches, Lee, said that too. It's like that. Just do something. Stay busy. That busyness is good for your mind. It's good to keep your brain busy instead of doing nothing and feeling there's nothing you can do. There's lots you can do still, but easier said than done. When people do suffer for the lack of motivation, and eventually that's something you got to find in yourself. How long does it usually take before you see people kind of, I got it, kind of catching it? Do I have to work with you for like a year before I figure it out, or will I understand before? I mean, what do you think people spend of time before they get the motivation?
I always tell them, like, I'm here as a safety net. I'm here as support after training. So I'm here for them. So it's not. I always gain like a personal relationship anyway with clients. It's not just about, hi, I see you at the gym, I'm going to train you, bye, and then I'll see you Tuesday. It's more like I always make sure they're feeling okay after their workout. It's reassurance as well, because I want them to let me know how they're feeling, or how did that workout go, if you want me to tweak anything, if you're not feeling comfortable doing this exercise. Also mentally, how are you feeling? Are you feeling drained, or why aren't you feeling motivated for our session today? And then obviously they might say it's due to work, blah, 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 but I can help reassure them while we're training. And I don't give them a time limit. I don't give them a time limit, because they're investing in me, I'm investing in them. I want to obviously provide value to them in a training standpoint, but also on a personal level. I want them to trust me. And also, like, I always gain friends out of my clients just naturally. I've met amazing people, so many different leases of life I would never speak to at all, because I'm always in the sport. So I've met so many great different types of personalities, and it's great because it just allows you to obviously create a friend, but also you get to know them personally and know their do's and don'ts, and you know what motivates them. But yeah, so no time limit at all. Just more support. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I think we're social beings, most of us. I can manage running by myself, but they say, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So I think that kind of goes. If you really want to go far, then you have to be a team. You have to team up with someone. Maybe find a friend and maybe team up with someone who's at somewhat the same level, or someone who's just right above you. Or I don't know. But if there's too big of a gap, then I think maybe someone will try to easily get injured because you want to match your friend and push yourself too hard. So I was curious, you know, so you have a studio now in England, and then you had a studio on Venice Beach, which, you know, to some people, that's where there used to be a guy rollerblading on a guitar with a bandana, you know. I don't know if he's still doing it.
Yeah, he's still there.
Right, exactly. I think I got this one on Venice Beach. I've been to a place called the Viper Room, long story, and long time ago. Anyway, what a weird culture, or what a un-UK, un-British culture it is on the boardwalk there.
Yeah, it's all walks of life, weird and wonderful, I call it. There's so much talent there as well. Obviously you always see like the street dancers and performers, and then you've got the painters, then you've got obviously the you know, the homeless guys.
Did all the clients there they were like working out to make it into film, obviously, or commercials?
Yeah, there's always those. But yeah, it's crazy because obviously in the week it's so quiet. It's amazing at Venice Beach, and packed, and obviously because it's tourist attraction. But it's it's crazy. Like I love Venice Beach. I love that it was quirky. I love that. And also like you meet the locals as well. So obviously when it's not busy, you know, you always see the same faces as well. All the business owners, all the locals who are there, who are obviously selling all their stuff. So yeah, it's I had so many different types of clients as well, and like so many different like clients who are in different careers, you know, from like high-end clientele. I used to train Steven Spielberg's ex-wife. It was crazy. Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg. He's a director of quite popular. Train his ex-wife.
Can you take it up from price? Can you up the price at that point then when you get that you see the last name, like, what's your price? I'm like, let me think.
No, I would never do that.
No, it's a good reference, right?
No, I know. Yeah, I'm like, right, I know who you are. So, but no, it's always the same price. But it's crazy. Like I've met amazing people out there. Same here though. It's crazy how people connect. Like my partner's a television presenter, and like I'm training a client who like knows like my partner's other presenter friend, and they live in completely different areas, and it's madness. So it all comes together. Fitness does. Little community. So.
It does, and it definitely should be a bigger part of kids' life. School, it should be more in school. I think it's a misunderstanding that we used to be so much more active. We're happy, very happy, active, I think.
I agree.
Before I move on to like rounding up this little serious question, I can't help but to ask. You know, there was this. You were Chelsea, right? Chelsea fan. So what I know people are upset, and you don't have to explain why people are upset, but I'm just curious, is it because I think it's the men that are more upset than the women, or are women fans in England just as hard on it as well?
I mean, so I don't know if you've seen, there's loads of protests outside the Arsenal grounds a few days. And obviously it's dominantly men. I think it's dominantly men because, I mean, comparison to the women's league, the WSL, to the men's league, there's not a lot of support there right now. They are in the works of doing it. I also feel like there's not a lot of females who are educated in soccer. I think my generation going up, they are, because soccer's getting huge. But yeah, they're just mad because of the heritage of the clubs and the history, and they're just thinking they're doing it for money, which obviously they are, because that's what the world consists of now. They're just mad about that, and there's no value in the league because no one gets relegated.
But hey, they listened, they turned, right? So they're like, hey, okay, we're sorry, that was good. See, that's how the voice works.
yeah, like I didn't realize how crazy like the fans would be, but I'm happy they
I don't
did.
think they did either.
Yeah, I think the presidents of the clubs were like, wow, like I didn't think that, like
No.
protest everywhere. So yeah, it's not going to happen now, hopefully. So not in the Premier League, no Premier League clubs. But yeah.
We can talk about more. We can talk about more surfing. I went through some pictures the other day from California, from Venice Beach, where and down in San Diego, and I was thinking, I remember surfing now, not thinking of a shark once. Now, if I was to go out there, I'd be like, there's sharks here. There's sharks, you know. So, but then again, it's been nice having you on. I've been trying to figure out this ending question, which is going to be moving back and forth until we nail it. I think we have enough episodes to eventually top.
Yeah.
But I got one really cool question one time when I was, and please, the rule is you cannot answer where you are right now. But the question is, if everyone was paid the same, what job would you pick?
I still think like fitness.
I said you can't pick it.
Yeah, no, I still like fitness consultant. I want to help people. So it's more about I would want to help people. So I can't be an office person. I would never be able to do that.
Helping people.
Helping people, yeah, and just improving their lifestyle. Even like just a wellness coach in general, mentally and physically, or sports psychologist for a club. That would be amazing.
Yeah, work on their mental, how to believe in yourself every time.
Yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's more.
Do you think that's a training? Is that a training thing? It's you got to train your brain too. It's a muscle, right?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. Sorry, you need to for me, like as a trainer as well, like being with all my clients, like, you need to provide good energy as well. If you're having good energy and you're just monotone and you're not, you don't need to shout at them. I'm not about that. The old school trainer way, like shout at them, let's go, like let's get this pump. No, like
have those.
Yeah, you know how
it was hitting me in the stomach. I don't know why I had to do that. I was like, "What do you have to hit me? I'm trying to just work out." Anyway, go ahead. I'm interrupting. It's typical me.
No, that's fine. No, but yeah, I totally agree. Like I feel like, but yourself bringing out good energy, it's gonna obviously help reflect on your clients as well. And also just talking about, don't just be, obviously make sure they're doing the exercise correctly. But also, I always throw in just like random daily chat. You know, how's your day been? You can vent to me about your partner if you want, or about, you know, or we can just talk about other topics as well. So just take their mind off working out. So yeah, I think psychologically being fit, mental fitness is super important. So yeah.
Cool. Fair enough. Close enough. And I think you can do well. I was kidding. With that focus, you're wonderful to talk to. We'll talk more down the road, I'm sure. And until next time, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll go for a pint in the UK, me, you, and Lee, when you can fly over.
We'll get over this period, and we'll be over. I can't play soccer though, so
that's fine.
That's fine. You'll beat me to that. Okay. Talk to you soon.
See you later. Take care.
You too. Bye.